In previous video of this tutorial, we have installed Entity Framework Core into our application. Now in this video, we will learn how can we configure DB context and Entity Framework Core in our Bookstore web application. Let's start. We will learn how can we create and configure a DB context class. How can we set a DB connection string? It means database connection string. And several other things. To set up the DB context class, let's open Visual Studio. Here we are back to our Bookstore application, and inside this application we have installed Entity Framework Core. Now we have to set up our DB context class. To keep the logic separate of this DB context, I will create a new folder over here. So I can choose add and click on the new folder. Let's give it a name. You can give it any meaningful name. For example, I'm writing data. And inside this data, let's create a new class. Add class. So we have to create a plain text class over here. Let's give it a name. Bookstore context. Let's click on the add button. So here you can see we have a plain public class. Now let's make it special. We have to inherit this class from DB context class. If we are using this DB context class over here, then automatically you can see that we are having this namespace which is Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. So what we are doing, we are creating our DB context class, and this is the name of our DB context class. And how this class is DB context? Because we have inherited it from the actual DB context class. Okay. We have to pass a parameter of type DB context options, and we have to provide the type of our DB context, which is Bookstore context in our case. Let's give it a name. Suppose I'm writing options, and we need to pass this to the base constructor as well. So I can use base keyword, and inside this I can pass these options. So the first task is done. Since we are following code first approach, so we need one entity class over here, and let's create a new entity class. Let's create a new entity class. To create a new entity class, I can simply right click on this data folder and add a new class. So suppose here I'm writing books. Okay, so let's write some properties. Let's copy these properties from the book model. At this time, if you are thinking that why we are creating a new class with same properties, why we are not using this book model for the entities as well? The reason is that I want to keep the logic completely separate. Suppose in future there is any change in this entity class property, and since this property represents the column of our database table, and if we are using the model class, then we have to update first in the form in our view HTML. Then we have to update into the controller, then over here in this layer, and then into the database. And this might be a problem. So I want to keep them completely separate. We will have all the models separate, and we will have entity classes separate. Let's use this entity into our DB context class. So for that I can simply use public, and I have to use DB set. And inside this DB set I need to provide the name of my entity class. The name is books. And the name that you will write over here, suppose it is books, that will be treated as the table name. If you have written book over here, then the name of your table will be book. If you have written books, then the name of your table will be books. Now DB context class is ready. We have created our first entity class as well. Now let's connect it with the database. And to connect it with the database, there are two ways. First one is we can configure all the details over here in this DB context class, and for that we have to override a method which is override on configuring, and inside this method we have to write some logic. So we have to use this options builder, then use SQL server. Why we are getting this SQL server? We are getting this SQL server because we have installed the package for SQL server. If you have installed your package for MySQL or some other provider, then you will get your method with same name, and then you can use that method. Let's see what all we need to pass inside this use SQL server. Here you can see we need to pass a connection string, and let's write a connection string over here. The connection string is, first we need to pass the details of our server. So suppose I'm using local server, so I can simply type dot. If you are using a remote database, then you can pass the IP of your database over here, then the name of your database. And since I'm using Windows authentication, then I am passing integrated security equals to true. If you are using SQL authentication, then you can pass your username and password over here. So we have created this DB context class. We have created a constructor, we have created a new entity class, we have also override this onConfigure method, and we have given a connection string to it. Now we need to tell our application that we are using this bookstore contact class, and we can do that easily into our startup class. So over here in this configure services method, you have to use services, then use add db context, and inside this db context you need to provide the name of your db context. In our case, the name of our context is bookstore context, so I can simply use this name. Let's resolve the namespace, and that's it. The connection string that we have defined over here into this onConfiguring method, we can define the same connection string over here in this db context method as well. So over here you can see options dot use SQL server, and inside this use SQL we can pass the connection string. Let's copy the connection string from here and let's paste it inside this method. So if we have defined the connection string over here, then there is no need of this method. I can simply remove it altogether. But if you are keeping your connection string over here, then there is no need to define your connection string again at this place. So let's remove this method. At this time we are passing hardcode connection string over here in this method. But in real time application, we get this connection string from our app settings.json. Why we are not using this app settings.json for this connection string? Because I have not told you how can we read the setting from this app settings. In some upcoming video we will learn how to read the settings from app settings, and then we will replace this code. But for now, just keep it as the hard code in this method. Let's build the solution. So build is successful. It means we have configured everything successfully. In the next video of this tutorial, we will learn how can we create a database from this DB context class. That is all in this video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.